room to move. He's trapped, brings Leskovic forward, who gives him lots of alternatives to fouls, but he's tackled strongly. Bairnsdale starting to look a bit better down there now. They were wide open there for a second, but it's come to Alvin, and the umpire says, it's mine, fellas, don't be silly. I will bounce the ball.
The bounce of the ball to take place about 30 metres out from that Sale goal, kicking against the breeze. 2-3-15 Sale, 1-5-11 the Dales in the second quarter. Nicely punched out. It'll be picked up by Shane O'Brien if he's good enough. He is. Gets his right-handed pass, but it's a bad one. It's intercepted by Robbins. Beautifully done, Robbins. Look at this fella go. He'll kick a goal here, puts it on its way, and it is a magnificent goal. Graham Robbins, link back.
Yeah, certainly allowed for the wind in that kick, Graham. A brilliant bit of play.
Once again, we have seen the bounce in the centre. The free kick will go which way? There's been a disagreement here. It's somebody who's broken over. I think it might have been Calvert that broke over the line, so it's going to be a Sale free, I think. Yes, Calvert has broken over the line from the centre bounce, so a Sale free, which is pretty handy, and goes to David Mason. David Mason in the centre of the ground. Second quarter here underway for the LVFL Grand Final. Big fellows. Oh, Bristow got up high there. Couldn't do much with it. Fowles will chase after it, but so too will Warren. Warren's in there diving for the ball. Was grabbed, so the umpire said. And a free kick will be taken by young Jeff Warren on the half-back flank. 3-3-21. Sale goals to Robbins, Jones and Hine. And Fletcher has kicked one for Bairnsdale. They're 1-5-11. In the centre of the ground it goes. There's a hand pass from Williams to King. King looking for speed. He'll find that player too, and Speed has taken the mark, getting a little bit away now and moving wide of Calvert.
Yes, moving wide, using spaces, which is very good. But of course, the ball was delivered beautifully by Peter King to Speed, who's kicked right in the forward line. Bristow can't take the mark. He's been just getting onto them, but can't quite hold them.
Fair bit of pressure there.
Coulthard's hand passes back to Hine. Hine steadies under great pressure. Kicks right into the teeth of goal. Oh, gosh, that's Bristow. Struggling big mark by the big strong fella. He doesn't look nearly as physically powerful in long sleeves, but he's a fencer by trade, and I can assure you his big arms are very strong as he goes in and kicks Sale fourth goal.
There's another goal on the board for the Sale side. They go to 4-3. That makes them 27. Bairnsdale 1-5-11 in the second quarter. Waiting for the ball to be returned here in the 1981 Grand Final from that goal from Neil Bristow after a good mark. And it just shows the value of getting the ball to the full forward line quickly when they haven't got time to bank up on your forwards.
That's right, Graham. Well, I think whoever gave the free kick away when the ball was bounced after the other goal, they should be very, very, very frustrated with themselves at the moment, because it's a bad free kick to give away.
There's the bounce in the centre. The big men go. Knocked down by Redenbach. He gets it across, but Kerr picks it up. Got nowhere to go, but gets a left boot into it. It's all Bairnsdale down there by the look of it, but they muff up what they should have taken. Hine gets it to Jones. Jones tripped there as he went to go through. It's now going to be Wayne Royal coming out of the back line as Hine and his opponent Kyle clash. Whoop, didn't want that, son. Now the ball to the ground. You've got to go in here hard. It drops to the ground. Picked up by Redenbach. He's grabbed. Beautifully trapped by Shanahan. Well done. Yes. Well, that's impeding the side in actual fact.
Yeah, it's penalising the side. Sale had the ball, and they were heading for open spaces.
Young King getting on top here on the centre wing too. Bad hand pass, but it's going to be picked up by Fowles. He breaks around one player, beautifully ducks another one. Hand passes to King. He's playing well, young King. Bit of shepherding there from Speed, allows it in the direction of Mason, and Mason should have taken an easy mark. There was no pressure. Coming out there is Leskovic. He got it taken away far too easily from him. To the ground it goes. It's a hand pass from Royal to Simmons. Simmons now puts it out, but it'll be taken here by danger player Kerr, hand pass to Robbins. Can he get through? Is this another goal for the skipper coming up? On its way, but off target and through for one behind. Certainly looking a bit better, Sale, now as they move to 4-4-28 as opposed to Bairnsdale's 1-5-11, and they have kicked more against the wind than they did with it.
Bairnsdale momentarily losing their poise and their sort of enthusiasm. As the score we see here at Sale 4-4 to 1-5 Bairnsdale, and Sale's gradually getting on top against the wind. As
goals to Robbins, Jones, Bristow and Hine. Fletcher is the only goal scorer for Bairnsdale.
Tom Alvin goes short to Cal, who got badly ripped on his shoulder before, and but he seems to be all right now as he takes this nice kick around the wing right in front of the broadcast box here. It's punched away from Ross Simmons by Peter King, who is playing well.
He's on top of Simmons now.
He's got on top of Simmons as the ball will be thrown in, and Big Fletcher will do battle, but it's his rover Redenbach who has a punch from the direction of Royal, but it's back to Clark. They're recovering much better here now, Sale. Their runners are really performing to Jones. Jones can't mark it to Alvin. Alvin has a run. They're all doing things individually. The teamwork momentarily gone here as Alvin's kick comes on this half-forward line to Kane, but it's bundled over the line by Ross Williams from Sale. It'll be thrown in right in front of the trainer's box here at the Moe ground.
Waiting now for the throw-in to be taking place here. The breeze blowing in favour of Bairnsdale, but Sale using it well against them. There's the knock. Peter King, by gee, you're playing well, son. Coming off that half-back line we find now is Ross Simmons. Simmons now for Bairnsdale, puts it in the half-forward direction. Big men, should have been a mark there to Maxfield, but it's picked up nicely by Russell, who puts it wide, and it's over the line on the full, and a free kick will result to John Shanahan, and on his mark will be Shane O'Brien.
Remember last week, Bairnsdale went very flat at this stage of that second quarter.
Well, now for the kick. That's not a nice mark to Bristow, not paid, however. Nuts Barling tries the punch out to Royal. It goes, he's grabbed to Kyle. Kyle loses the ball just as quickly. Now it's going to be a bustle here with Frith trying to get it out of there. A hand pass, now a kick into the centre of the ground. Running in is Ross Simmons, so too is King. King now is trying to pick it up. There has been a change of wings, I think. Up it goes where all three of them muck each other up, but Fletcher eventually takes it, and Cowell again is holding that shoulder.
Oh, it's very painful.
I think it's giving him a bit of problem, Graham. It's the second time he's landed on it, and
doesn't look good, Len.
It doesn't look good at all, does it? No.
There's
it's probably
nice
only
kick.
his fighting spirit that's keeping him on the ground.
Nice bit of play up there by Ronnie Hughes in defence for the Sales side, punching it through for 1 point, and Bairnsdale moved to 1-6-12 as opposed to Sales 4-4-28. So we find at the moment a reasonable gap coming up here for the Sales side, kicking against the breeze, and we've probably been about 10 minutes into this, the second quarter. The ball with Frith on the half-back flank for Sale, grabbed very quickly by Haylock, but play on is the call, but it's it's still in play there. They all thought it was out, I think, and momentarily a bit of slow motion took place, but the umpire now has indicated it's out. Throw in Bairnsdale's half-forward flank, Sale 4-4, Bairnsdale 1-6.
Bristow's big knock is trapped by Cowell, the courageous Cowell, but he was trapped instantly. He had the ball, but it's come to Kyle, who looks very like Cowell. He's got a free kick, Ian Kyle.
Around the leg.
Goes straight around his opponent, kicks badly. Bairnsdale momentarily lost their poise, as I say. Big Bristow coming through. Ken Hine back to Bristow. Bristow will stand his ground. He's big and strong, but it's punched away there to Fletcher. Fletcher on to Big Nuts Barling, to King, who's really dominating, but he can't pick it up. A lot of players making mistakes. Every mistake in the book, in fact, as the umpire Carbines will come in and bounce the ball at centre half forward for the Bairnsdale side, or the edge of the square.
The only goal for Bairnsdale by Trevor Fletcher. Sale have got Robbins, Jones, Bristow and Hine to thank for theirs.
Fletcher's knock is to Barling, but he can't trap it. Down to King. King slung to the ground. By gee, that was pretty dynamite, wasn't it?
Dynamite, Len?
No, I don't think so. No, the player had plenty of opportunities to get rid of the ball, and
I thought he had
so.
one arm grab, but still the kick is very good in the direction of Fletcher, but it's punched through by Big Fleming, who's invaluable down there. His big height and his big punching away from the pack. It makes it very difficult for forwards to mark the ball, as we've seen Bairnsdale go to 1-6, trailing Sale 4-4, as the ball's kicked out onto the centre wing. Big men fly. White can't take the ball for Bairnsdale to Bristow. He gets it out, doing a ton of work down there, Bristow. To Kerr. Now the runners come into business. Ron Hughes has a bounce. Bairnsdale nowhere near him. His kick onto the forward line. Who's there?
Mason.
Mason it is. Interesting that in the 1951 grand final, the best players for Sale were Mason and King.
And they, of course, were Bob Mason, the father of David Mason, and Snipper King, the father of Peter King.
Marvellous to see tradition coming on as Wayne Fowles, a recruit at Sale from Devon, comes in and has a shot for goal. What is he going to do? We all wait. Looks pretty good. It's straightened up by the wind, but it's a bit short. Over he can't
nice
mark
mark.
it. Falling
Going to be a mark
there
to Sale.
By David Mason.
Well, David Mason, the player we were just talking about, a very talented player. I don't think that we've seen the best of this fellow yet. He seems to run a bit hot and cold. I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about in his so far short career, as he goes back on a very acute angle. He's kicked it right across goal, David Mason. He tried to get it onto the boot and, in fact, slice it around, one of those Len Petch banana kicks, but obviously he hasn't learned from you, Len.
No, perhaps some tuition might be in order for him, Graham, I think.
Well, half-time, Len.
Yeah.
As we wait now for the ball to be kicked out from that full-back division by Warren, the resulting free kick. Bristow goes, but got up far too early. To the ground it goes. Sale trying to get away with it, but O'Brien is in there for Bairnsdale. It'll be a bounce by umpire Shane Carbines. In the reserve 18s, it was a win to Terralgan, 18-12 to Sale 8-6. In the third 18s, a win to Warrigal, 14-12 to Tarrogin, 13-13. Up goes Bristow, big long knock. Look at this for classy play, but he couldn't quite get the run of it there, Claverino, as it's on Sale's half-forward line. Defence now as Cowell has the ball. The Royal, probably two of the most talented players on the ground. There's the kick by Royal up towards the forward line. The ball bounces awkwardly. Fletcher tried to trap it, but it's Maxfield who does. He's going to get caught with the ball. He's caught with it, and the umpire says it's going to be a free kick here to the Bairnsdale side to Trevor Fletcher, and he should get it down quickly because sitting in the forward line down there was young Michael Kane, but Fletcher apparently fancies himself from about 45 metres out. It wobbles its way and won't make the distance as it's punched beautifully back by Fleming, and Barling into an open goal. Can he do much with it? He's kicked it wide and through for 1 point. Kager Finance scoreboard now moves to 1-8 to 4-4, and we have about 18 minutes gone in the second quarter.
Big Fleming's a danger down there, isn't he? Doing a lot of damage.
Well, if you notice the statistics, and I don't know whether you, Len, take much notice of them, Fleming had neither kick, mark nor hand pass against Tarrogin, but we thought he was most effective. Yes,
well, you know, a player can still be effective just by simply applying himself and putting himself into the game, but well, I don't know, Graham, statistics, they do tell a story, I suppose.
Waiting now for a free kick to go to Bruce Cowell on the half-forward line, the runner-up in the red Rodder medal, true to Ward, to Ray Milden Hall. He gets the kick, right boot, centering the ball. Where are the big fellas? They're there, but they're all Sale. To the ground it goes. Now it's going to be defence for Sale to come into action as umpire Carbine says it's bottled up too much, fellows, and 45 metres out from the Bairnsdale goal, a bounce will take place. I don't personally think Bairnsdale have done well enough in this quarter as well as they did in the first.
No, they certainly haven't. I think Richard made the comment that there's too many players that are playing independent of each other, and it's a shame to see a side like Bairnsdale do it, Graham, because when they do combine, they're unbeatable.
Waiting now for John Kerr to flip it off that half-back line with a left-foot kick into the centre. Here's a ton of pressure for young Peter King. Coming up over him was Calvert. To the ground it goes, throwing that ball, but the umpire let it go on. Picked up by Kane. Kane across there to Leskovic. Leskovic, the centre half-back. It was at centre half-forward. Here's a chance for a sit for Kane. Oh, beautifully done by Maxfield, who punches it through for yet another. In fact, the 9th point on the board for Bairnsdale as they move now to 1-9-15, and they're 13 points behind Sales, 4-4-28, as we wait for Fleming to kick it out.
Is Bairnsdale kicking itself out of the game?
I would say at the moment one could say that.
Kick by Fleming to who's got that mark? I didn't think it was a mark, but Maxfield's got the kick. No, it isn't. It's Johnny
Kerr.
Johnny Kerr. Very hard to pick up those players out there. It's John Kerr with the free kick. What's Kerr going to do with it? He's a lovely kick of the ball. He runs on now. It has a tap. Kicks through the centre of the ground. Looking for Emu Jones. It's punched away from him to ground. Umpire says Bruce Cowell was grabbed to Ross Simmons. Back
score
to Cowell.
Check here, 4-4 to 1-9. Sale leading in the second quarter.
Calvert it is. He puts them into attack. It's Russell White taking a nice mark on his chest. He immediately, what did he do then? I wouldn't say he did anything to Ross Williams. I think Ross Williams did a lot of acting. As White kicks long in the direction of Big Barling, but there's no one there.
Beautiful
it's
mark,
those big
David
fellas
Mason.
from Sale who we said would be very troublesome to Bairnsdale, and they're doing that on that back line. They're on top in that back line. Back to Redenbach now. Redenbach has a look at goals, shot at goals, but it's offline, and that'll be there. No, it's not. It's out of bounds on the full, Chris Redenbach.
Gee, they've certainly had about 4 or 5 out of bounds on the full. They've kicked 9 points. They've had 10 scoring shots to Sale's 4, but they trail 4-4 to 1-9. So it doesn't look good at the moment, but still, it's a long way to go. There's the kick out nicely by Fleming, and he's found his mark there, and Peter King right on the boundary line. Royal now, we'll have to watch him. There's the kick down towards Emu Jones. He'll mark this ball, does it well. Hine went past for the hand pass, but it's Robbins in the centre, unopposed. Now he gets a hand pass to Hine. Robbins and Hine through the centre of the ground. A wobbly looking kick and allows Alvin to come in. Well defended by Coulthard. He shouldn't have to defend. It should be attack. Coming in underneath it there was Wayne Royal, and the umpire says a free kick. And I'd like to know the stats about free kicks in back lines for defenders, because there've certainly been plenty of them. There's Alvin putting it round to Cowell, but it eludes him. Oops, grabbed too high. Yes, the umpire said, well, not too high, but when he didn't have the ball, and David Mason starting to have an influence on this game.
Yes, he certainly is, Graham. Towards the end of the first quarter, and during this quarter, he certainly stood his ground. Some very big, strong marking. He's done well.
I think Bristow is about in the elk of Len Petch as far as kicking to goal, and I think Lenny might be a bit far out, or would you back him?
No, I certainly wouldn't, Graham.
He's a bit far out. He's about 40 metres out. He's got the breeze.
Having a good look at it, though.
Bristow lining up. Oh, gee, he's put it on its way. It's coming back, but won't be long enough, and punched beautifully away by the defence. Out there is Wayne Royal. He's punched it, I think, inadvisedly at the moment, because Kerr is in the race for the ball. He's grabbed with the ball. Play on is the call. Beautifully picked up by John Kerr. These wingers are starting to get on top, and it's going to be Peter Speed contesting, but it's a beautiful mark taken there.
Just so the wingers are getting on top.
The umpire says it's not going to be for you, Peter Speed, but it's going to be for Robbie, not
Brian
Robbie
Royal.
Leskovic, but Wayne Royal is going to take it. Or is it Brian?
Brian,
it's Brian
beautiful
Royal
mark.
shaking his head. Puts it to Cal. Cal now as he ends up on the turf thanks to Ross Williams. There's the kick by Kane. Plemming, have you got the sit, son? You have, and well done. And Plemming is certainly playing very well in defence for the Sale side.
Too big down there, Graham, the Sale defence.
Giving Chris Russell a bath. As Plemming puts Sale into attack again. Who is it down there? We can't pick it up. It's King coming in. He puts the poor old Bruce Cowell's been in more
He's in
trouble
plenty
here
of trouble, Cal. He's
a war
the
veteran.
second hard knock in a couple of minutes, and
Yes.
he's a very sore man.
Umpire Shane Carbine's talking to Fletcher too. Oh, he's very sick and sore. I missed the incident. Did you see it?
Well, I wouldn't like to say it, but I would say it was a kick in the face.
I think the kick actually connected with his shoulder.
Well, he certainly is in a lot of trouble out there, and the umpire's even shaking his head as the bounce of the ball continues. There's the ball dropping to the ground. Coming through is Warren. Can't take it with him, however. Coming through there, the umpire says a free kick, and this is bad news for Bairnsdale with Cal off, coming up to half-time, and I don't think he'll return, Len Petch.
Well, he doesn't certainly want to go off, Graham, but as we've said before, Cal, he's the type of player, he doesn't want to go off, and he'll be back on the ground.
You think?
I certainly do.
Okay, let's wait for the tip. There's Ronnie Hughes having a kick for Sale down in the Bristow direction. He's too far behind. Overy nearly marking the ball, but Kerr now getting hold of it, playing on, can't do much with it. Centre half forward as we wait now for a bounce of the ball at Sale's centre half forward. The Kager Finance scoreboard is 4-4 to 1-9 as the bounce is taken. Up they go. Bristow got one high, so he said, but it's Clark across to Robbins, who very unceremoniously lost the ball, but now we find it hand pass from Hine to Clavarino. Clavarino brushing it in front of him there. It's Leskovic coming out. He slips over. Must be a bit slippery out there, but they wear those stupid sole boots, these players these days, and I don't know what Len thinks about those, but you don't seem to be able to hold your feet in them, Len.
No, they're very hard, Graham, particularly on either a wet surface or a very hard surface.
You're an old stager. You wear the stops, the screw-ins?
Jenkins, Graham. Jenkins boots.
Yeah. Right, they'll be pleased with that. Okay, there's the ball. Hand passed in the centre to Royal. Royal gets it across here, looking forward and finding his teammate in the person there of Kane. Kane up in the forward line. There's a mark for Russell coming up. He can't mark it. I thought he should have had it. It drops to the ground, and it's going to be Maxfield to take it away from that last line of defence. Whoops, he gets unceremoniously dumped, and Kane comes back to redeem what has gone wrong, but can only take it over the line and out of bounds. Bairnsdale's half forward line. We're going to have a throw in now. And the throw-in is taken high in the air. Up goes the big fellows. Nice knock by Maxfield. Back to the centre, but the only one there's Fletcher. Fletcher for Bairnsdale. A hand pass to Brian Royal. He's clever, but he can't get away with this. Hand passes to no man, and Shane O'Brien eventually gets it. A throw, I thought, there. And you're caught nuts, Barling, but play on as the call. Been pretty lucky down there to get away with that. As Maxfield threw it out, he was also lucky. But Frith now is going to kick across goals, which is danger material. Up goes Johnny Kerr. Well done, son. Pushes it towards the boundary, but it's picked up there by Reddenback. Reddenback to Kyle. Is this a goal coming up? Kyle shrugs off Clark as he comes through. Well defended there by Ross Williams as he thrust himself for the ball. Robbins taking it away over there. Cowell is off, as we repeat, as picked up by Reddenback. He this time thrusts his opponents away and gets it to Kyle. Leave it, they said, and they all did. Now it's Simmons, grabbed too high, and Simmons